Well, let's get some business news on the programme now. And Yuka Roye joins me in the studio from our business desk. Yuka, let's talk about Indonesia, because the country is set to inaugurate its new capital later on this week, not something we hear about very often. This is to coincide with the country's Independence Day, but it's been a rather bumpy ride, hasn't it, to Nusantara? Tell us more.
Well, Nadia, it's certainly an ambitious project. Indonesia is building a new city from scratch in the middle of a rainforest in Borneo. Now, but with just days to go before its planned inauguration on Saturday, construction for the new city is far from finished. Key infrastructure projects such as water supply and electricity failed to meet their July completion deadlines. On Monday, Indonesian President Joko Widodo finally managed to hold the first cabinet meeting in Nusantara. Announced in late 2019, construction for the new city began in 2022 with the target of having a workforce of about 4.8 million by 2045 and relocating some 33,000 public servants in phases over the next 5 years. Now, the government expects to cover only a fifth of the roughly 30 billion euro price tag, relying on private investment for the rest. But money has been slow to come by. Earlier this month, President Widodo announced new incentives, including land rights of up to 190 years to lure more investment as the mega project is set to continue for decades. Here's what the president, who's leaving office in October, and his elected successor said earlier on the site.
Nusantara is a canvas on which we draw our future. Not all countries have the opportunity and ability to build their capital city from scratch.
We will definitely finish it, although it will take dozens of years to complete. I am optimistic that in 5 years, the city will be functioning very well.
The incoming Indonesian president speaking there. And just tell us, Yuka, why is Indonesia moving its capital at all?
Well, this is as much out of necessity as anything else. The current capital, Jakarta, is overcrowded with more than 10 million inhabitants and 30 million in the greater metropolitan area. It's been described as the world's fastest sinking city. It's estimated that a third of Jakarta will be underwater by 2050. Now, the main cause is uncontrolled groundwater extraction, but that's been exacerbated by climate change. Floods as well as earthquakes are common. The air is heavily polluted and the city's heavy congestion is said to be costing 4 billion euros annually. Now, moving to Nusantara has a symbolic meaning too. It's located in Borneo, roughly in the center of Indonesia. The government also wants to showcase a sustainable forest city that's clean and environmentally friendly.
Well, there is, though, quite a lot of controversy surrounding the megacity, isn't there?
Well, despite that slated aim of making the city greener and achieving carbon neutrality by 2050, skeptics worry about the environmental impact of building a megacity in the rainforest. First of all, there's concern over forest destruction, of course. Even though the government is promising to replant trees, less than a tenth of the reforestation target for Nusantara had been achieved by February of this year. Many are also worried about the potential impact on wildlife, as East Kalimantan is home to orangutans, leopards, dolphins, and a wide array of other animals. Several villages with indigenous Balik people had to be relocated as well for the project, though the government has offered financial compensation to these people. In the short term, though, the biggest issue is construction delays and a lack of investment, as I mentioned earlier.
All right, thanks very much. Yuka Roye for us there.